All right, everyone, we start off today with a major release here by Taibbi Schellenberger and others, of course, involved with the Twitter files and other releases, sort of part of the nexus of people that actually still do journalism. So you don't have very many of them because MSNBC quit doing that long ago. Fox News decided to quit that a while ago. Drudge and all of the others that had, at least made an attempt. They no longer do. And link in the description. Archived, of course. This is a major story that I see very little coverage of, and it doesn't surprise me very much. And it's something that I warned of for years was actually the goal of the Intel network that had been formed by Fiveeyes. So the United States has partnered with other countries, the UK and so forth, to conduct cross-trading with Intel. And on paper, it's a good idea. Okay, you might have information about some terrorist or something in your country that we're not directly surveilling, and so we're able to pull information from one another. You can definitely help stop terrorism that way, and so that was the way it was effectively sold to the public. Hey, we're going to outsource our spying to other countries. We're going to grab each other's info. Oh, we're doing it to keep you safe. I noticed that that's the ethos behind their pitch to the public for a great many things. Patriot Act. The problem is, in the United States, we have something called the Fourth Amendment, the right to privacy. We have the right of people to be considered innocent until shown to be guilty, and all of these other things. And I warned for years that one of the bypass methodologies would be to create a more international style of intel, in which, like, for instance, the UK can't spy on one of its own citizens without a court order, etc. They have to have the legal permission to do so. They have to go before a court, even if it's like a rubber stamp court, like a FISA thing. They have to show some sort of probable cause for why they would want to gather intel on an individual within their country. In the United States, the same is generally true. Again, absent the rubber-stamped FISA warrant, or if you use Amazon Ring, until recently, by the way, the police or a prosecutor, they can't just randomly start monitoring what you're doing. The way to get around this, though, is to create a partnership with a foreign country that does not have that legal prohibition. The UK can spy on me, and there is no legal methodology by which I can prevent them from doing so, because I'm not a UK citizen. I'm not covered under their laws. A citizen in Britain can be spied on by the US government, and there's nothing that they can legally do about it. They're not covered under the Fourth Amendment. The government, for the U.S. government's purposes, they're a non-entity, legally speaking. They don't have the same set of rights that a citizen of the United States would have. And so you simply outsource one another's spying. The UK will spy on the U.S. citizen. The U.S. will spy on the UK citizen. They will trade that information as part of that agreement, thereby bypassing privacy laws and the right to things like, basic legal protection that we would expect in the Western world. Indeed, that appears to have happened here. This is a super scandal, and nobody's fucking talking about it. It's on page 2, if it gets covered at all. What the report alleges is that foreign entities were directly and explicitly talked to by U.S. intel, especially the CIA, in order to gather data on Donald Trump. Again, Trump is a U.S. citizen. Under U.S. law, the U.S. intel community, therefore, is limited in its capacity to spy on him. You have to establish probable cause. With Russiagate, which is the focus of this, the 2016 election, Russiagate, the Steele dossier, things like that, there was never any probable cause. No reasonable person ever would have greenlighted the spying on Trump's campaign. In fact, this was found in the official report into the Steele dossier and Russiagate, that it never should have been triggered in the first place. But they outsourced it, which kind of makes sense considering that the Steele dossier was compiled in the UK as well. Yeah, put 2 and 2 to fucking together about what happened with regards to that one. Donald Trump's was not only were his rights, not only was the basic premise of the intel system in the legal sense in the United States completely ignored. You had a fake dossier that was compiled in foreign lands for a political campaign. Hillary's campaign tried to brush it off as though Bush had actually created it, and I was taken in by that at first as well, but that was actually proven to be untrue. It didn't come from Jeb's opposition research. Think what you will about Turtle Man Jeb, with his hoodie and his guacamole. It came from the Clinton camp. It came from, in other words, the deep state, the Uniparty. His fundamental right to privacy, his constitutional rights, were violated when that investigation was triggered. It's now clear as day. Again, you've got credible insider information saying, look, the CIA spoke to the British and they got intel on Trump using effectively a foreign third party. This is an egregious violation of the Constitution. It's an egregious violation of at least the spirit of what Fiveeyes is supposed to be, which is, hey, we've got terrorists here, you've got terrorists there, and we're cross-training because you may have intel that we cannot gain or do not have. We may have information on somebody who's entered your country, and so we're going to trade it with you. As so far as this is used to stop terrorist attacks, nobody has any problem with it. The basic premise is a good one. The problem is it's being misused. And now we're finding out that it was misused against a man who became the President of the United States himself, as part of an opposition research campaign triggered by a uniparty that is sick to its core with utter corruption. The Fourth Amendment was violated. The right to fair and speedy trial was ignored. The whole Constitution was ignored. Every part of it. Donald Trump's rights were violated. And there are people out there that get cognitive dissonance and say, but orange man bad, so it doesn't really matter. The ends justify the means, according to people like Kissinger and idiots like that. Yes, let's throw away the civic construct of the United States that allows us to be wealthy and generally prosperous in order to crucify one man under false pretenses because CNN told you that he was dangerous. That's what it boils down to. I warned of this for years. We now have more evidence that this indeed is a thing. And if they can do this to Trump, by the way, if they can do this to a presidential candidate with billions of dollars, what the fuck do you think they can do to you? Oh, they can hammer and nail you all they want. There's nothing you're going to do about it. You won't even know that the proceedings are happening unless they pull the trigger. You're not going to know. They can spy on you and investigate you all they want. They'll just use a foreign attaché to do it. I would think that would be fairly big news, but I'm not seeing anything when I go over to CNN.com. I fucking wonder why. That's about all. Peace out.